Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into the thick of it in India, specifically Bihar's assembly election campaign, as things stood on November 7th, 2025.
And it's fascinating because this isn't just your typical local election fight, is it?
Not at all. We're seeing national political heavyweights using, well, everything in their arsenal: history, regional pride, even controversies boiling up hundreds of miles away in South India.
It's incredibly high stakes. You had Union Home Minister Amit Shah on this whirlwind tour, Bhagalpur, Jamui, Bipur, and the real fireworks started perhaps unexpectedly.
Right, triggered by what seemed like a simple comment. RJD leader Teju Yadav praised Tamil Nadu's chief minister N.K. Stalin.
And boom, that one comment became the flashpoint. Shah seized on it immediately.
It really shows how, in campaigns like this, nothing is ever just a throwaway remark. So our mission today is to unpack all of this, go beyond the sound bites, understand the political narratives, the accusations, the development promises.
We need to get at the why, right? Why these specific attacks? Why now? What's the strategy behind framing the debate this way?
Exactly. Let's start with that moment, Tejashwi naming Stalin as his favorite chief minister. How did Shah turn that into an attack?
Well, he immediately connected it to a very sensitive issue for Biharis, migrant labor. He brought up the history, or alleged history, between Stalin's party, the DMK, and Bihari workers who travel south.
And he used a really sharp metaphor, didn't he? Something about beaties?
He did. Shah claimed the DMK compares Biharis to bidis, those thin, hand-rolled cigarettes. Think about the symbolism there.
Cheap, disposable.
Exactly. Expendable. It taps right into the anxieties of migrant workers who often feel undervalued and exploited when they leave Bihar for jobs elsewhere. Shah's message was basically, your potential leader admires a party that looks down on you, that insults your very dignity and economic struggle.
Wow, that transforms a political compliment happening far away into something deeply personal for voters in Bihar. And you mentioned this wasn't entirely out of the blue.
No, the ground was sort of primed for it. Just a few days earlier, Prime Minister Modi himself had accused the DMK of harassing Bihari laborers. Stalin had pushed back, calling it cheap politics.
Ah, okay. So when Tejashwi praised Stalin right after that exchange.
It just handed Shah the perfect ammunition. That video clip, Tejashwi's compliment, it became viral fodder to really drive home the narrative. The opposition is siding with those who disrespect Biharis.
So from attacking Tejashwi via Stalin, Shah then broadened his scope.
Immediately. He pivoted to target the entire opposition alliance, the Mahagathbandhan, that's RJD, Congress, the left parties.
And he tried to rebrand them, didn't he?
Yes, a very deliberate move. He started calling the Mahagathbandhan, which means Grand Alliance, a Thag Bandhan.
Which translates to...
Alliance of thieves, essentially, or cheats. It's designed to instantly frame the entire coalition as being about mischief and corruption, not governance.
And what specific accusations came with that label?
He went after the big names Lalu Prasad, Rahul Gandhi, Rabri Devi, claimed they'd done nothing for the poor except, and this is a key phrase, patronizing infiltrators.
Infiltrators. What's the strategic play behind using that specific word in Bihar?
It's a powerful, fear-based tactic, especially effective where resources are scarce. Shah suggested these supposed infiltrators are stealing jobs, food rations, government benefits, things that should be going to the local Bihari population.
So he's trying to link the opposition directly to the economic anxieties people feel, making it seem like the Mahagathbandhan is the reason they might be struggling.
Precisely. It frames every hardship as a result of the opposition's alleged protection of these outsiders taking resources. It's a very potent us versus them narrative.
Okay, so first, frame them as thieves allied with those who insult Biharis. Then, frame them as protectors of resource-stealing infiltrators. What came next?
Then he reached back into history. The ultimate bogeyman in Bihar politics.
Jungle Raj. The era of lawlessness associated with the RJD rule in the 90s and early 2000s, that memory still holds a lot of weight, doesn't it?
Immense weight. Shah painted a very stark picture of that time: kidnappings, chaos. He specifically mentioned places like Gaya, Aurangabad, Jamui, reminding people these were hotbeds for Maoist rebels back then.
And positioning the NDA as the solution.
Absolutely. He claimed Maoists reigned supreme under the RJD and directly credited the current NDA government with having wiped out Naxalism in those areas. It's a claim of bringing security and order.
So it becomes a choice: order under NDA or a return to chaos.
He made it explicit. In Bhagalpur, he literally asked the crowd, do you want the kidnapping industry in Daira or the rise of tourism? It's that kind of stark, binary choice, chaos versus development, fear versus hope.
That's a powerful framing. And did he keep this focus purely local on Bihar's past law and order issues?
No, he connected it upwards to national security. He criticized the previous Congress-led UPA government, specifically Manmohan Singh and Sonia Gandhi.
What was the angle there?
He accused them of lacking the courage, the resolve to retaliate effectively against terror strikes during their time in power from 2004 to 2014.
I see. So it builds a narrative. The opposition is weak on law and order locally and nationally, untrustworthy with security at any level.
Exactly. It's a comprehensive critique on the security front. And that security argument flows quite naturally into the next major line of attack, culture and religion.
Ah, yes, the connection back to the DMK, Stalin's party. It wasn't just about insulting laborers.
No, Shah broadened it significantly. He alleged the DMK wasn't just anti-Bihari economically, but also culturally and religiously hostile.
How so?
He claimed they opposed the Ram Temple in Ayodhya, a huge issue for the BJP's base, and perhaps even more pointedly, that they mocked Sanatan Dharma, the ancient traditions of Hinduism.
Bringing the Ram Temple and Sanatan Dharma into a state election in Bihar. Why is that strategically important? Who is that aimed at?
It's about nationalizing the cultural dimension of the election. For the NDA, politics is always partly ideological. By linking to Joshui's chosen ally, Stalin, to anti-Hindu sentiments, Shah is sending a message to the Hindu majority in Bihar
The message being?
that the opposition alliance is fundamentally out of step with or even hostile to their core religious and cultural identity. It gives voters who might be wavering on economic issues another potentially more powerful reason to stick with the NDA.
And did the NDA offer a counter-vision on the cultural front?
Oh, absolutely. A very specific and grand one, rooted in Bihar itself. Shah heavily promoted the plan to build a major temple complex for goddess Sita in Sitamarhi.
Sita's mythical birthplace.
Exactly. The plan includes turning Punora Dham Janki Mandir into a world-class spiritual destination. It's a massive investment in Bihar's own sacred heritage.
So positioning the NDA not just as defenders of Hinduism broadly, but as champions of Bihar's specific place within that tradition.
Precisely. And he threw down the gauntlet, declaring something like, "Neither Rahul nor Lalu can stop this." It's a claim that only the NDA has the will and the power to deliver on this kind of cultural project and development.
Okay, so after tearing down the opposition on economy, security, history, culture, did Shah then pivot to what the NDA would do if reelected?
Yes, that was the crucial next step, laying out the positive vision, the development blueprint. He spent considerable time outlining concrete plans.
What were some of the highlights from that glow-up list, as you called it earlier?
It was quite forward-looking in parts. Things like a new cluster for electric vehicle manufacturing signaling green jobs, modern industry. Also a defense corridor aiming for large-scale, high-value industrial investment.
Trying to move Bihar's economy beyond traditional sectors.
That seemed to be the message. But alongside that, there were the more traditional infrastructure promises, too.
Like roads and colleges.
Exactly. World-class expressways, new highways connecting different parts of the state, plus new medical and engineering colleges. These are bread-and-butter promises aimed at improving connectivity and access to education and healthcare.
Standard election fare, but important. Was there anything particularly unique or targeted in the economic plan?
Yes, one item really stood out because of its scale and specificity. A massive Rs 20,000 crore investment in pisciculture.
Fish farming, 20,000 crore. That's a huge amount. Why such a specific focus?
Well, think about Bihar's geography. It's crisscrossed by rivers. This plan aims to turn those water resources into major revenue generators, but it also likely targets specific communities.
You mean traditional fishing communities, often from marginalized caste groups.
Exactly, many of whom are economically vulnerable. This promises a massive, modern investment into their traditional livelihood. It's potentially a way to offer an alternative to migration, the very issue Shah used to attack Joshua at the start. It connects a social problem with an economic solution.
So it ties the whole narrative together in a way.
Yeah. It attempts to, yes. It says, we understand the problem of migration, we condemn those who insult migrants, and here's our plan to create opportunities right here using Bihar's own resources.
Right. So pulling it all together then, we've seen how a single compliment, seemingly innocuous, became the spark for this really multi-layered political onslaught.
Absolutely. An onslaught that wove together insults to regional pride, deep-seated historical fears of Jungle Raj, national cultural flashpoints like the Ram Temple, and then balanced it all with these big development blueprints.
It's a masterclass, really, in how modern campaigns blend everything: local issues, national ideology, historical memory, future promises. The voter in Bihar is being asked to consider things happening in Tamil Nadu, things that happened 20 years ago, and the promise of an EV factory.
It's complex. And with the next phase of voting just days away, on November 11th,
It leaves you, the listener, with a really crucial question, doesn't it? How much do these grand narratives, the historical fears, the distant cultural battles, the attacks based on alliances far away, how much do they actually sway a voter compared to their immediate concerns?
concerns like the condition of their local road, the prospect of a job, the memory of law and order, or perhaps the promise of that huge investment in fish farming.
Exactly. Where does the balance lie for the average voter between these national currents and their local reality? That's the tightrope walk we're watching in Bihar right now.